Hi guys, how are you doing? So today I'm going to talk about the main reasons why a relationship, and by this I mean a romantic relationship, might not be working. And I know that everyone is different and every relationship is very different, so there is actually no rules to why it can work or not work, and it's way more complicated than that. But except for the obvious reasons, like somebody cheated, there are some general reasons that I noticed to kind of be a rule in a lot of relationships of people that surround me, a lot of my friends. I make a lot of these mistakes myself, and so I just wanted to share my observations with you. So let's get started. Number one, and the most important thing, is that you need to be very happy with yourself and very happy on your own when you enter in your relationship, because I think that a lot of the times relationships do not work because a person who is entering a relationship, or both people, are just looking for someone to fill a hole inside of them. So they like something and they look for it in another person, and it just leads nowhere, because for some time this other person might be giving you what you need, but they will get tired of it, and you cannot place an emotional burden of your own on another person, and you cannot make the other person responsible for your emotional needs. So in order to have a happy and a healthy relationship, you need to first be in a very happy place yourself, to be content with yourself, to love yourself, to respect yourself, because if you do not respect yourself, your partner will not respect you as well, because other people treat us the way we feel about ourselves. So we set an example of how other people are going to treat us. So my big advice would be to first take care of yourself, come to terms with yourself, with your own personality, with the way you look, with the way you are, and then go and start a relationship with a person who is also whole on their own. So it's not like the other half of me or something like that. You need to be a whole person on your own before starting in your relationship. Reason number two is probably one or both of you doesn't see the other one for who they really are. So when we start a relationship, it's very natural to start idealizing the other person. So you feel like you have found the love of your life, and you only see the good things about them, and a lot of times people do not present their real selves in the beginning of a relationship, so you might think that the other person is actually much better than they are, and you fall in love with an image in your head, not the real person. So when they start behaving more like themselves, or when they make a mistake, or when they slip and fall, you think that they have changed, or that you have been fooled, or that you have been lied to, but in fact you were in love with the image that you created inside of your head. And you need to realize that no one is perfect. Every person is a living, breathing human being with their flaws, with their difficulties, and there is not such thing as a perfect person. So please do not fool yourself in the beginning of a relationship, and know that there are probably a lot of different underlying issues with that other person, and just be prepared to face them sooner or later, and then you will not be as disappointed, and you will not devalue the other person if you don't idealize them first. Number three is also a big one. So if you or your partner, or both of you, are not in touch with your feelings, it can ruin your relationship, because we need to know what is going on inside of us, and we need to know how to explain it to the other person. No one can read our mind. So if you want to have a happy and healthy relationship, you need to be very much aware of what is going on in here, and you need to know how to communicate your needs and your feelings and your desires. I know that it can be hard. For a lot of people, it's easier to press the feelings down and they don't really even know what they're feeling. And it can present itself in depression or in some psychosomatic symptoms. You can have headaches, you can feel nauseous, you can feel drained all of the time, you can have low energy, and it all might be just because there is something going on inside of you that you have no idea about. So please go and try and get in touch with yourself. Number 4 is kind of a part of number 2, or maybe a little bit more developed number 2. So it is some underlying issues that you have before you enter a relationship. And this was definitely my problem in my last relationship. If you have some huge trauma from your childhood, or you have some depression, some other psychological conditions, if you are just dealing with something severe inside yourself, even if you press it down, one day it will surface up, especially if you feel comfortable in the new relationship. So if you know for sure that you are dealing with something deep inside of you, please try and resolve it before dragging another person into it, because it is not, well, I mean, it definitely isn't your fault if you are dealing with something inside yourself, but it is also not very fair to the other person. Reason number 5 is that one or both of you don't want to work on the relationship. I used to think that a perfect relationship is the one that you don't have to work on. It just clicks like this and you don't have to talk about anything. Everything will just work out on its own. But let me tell you, this is not true. You really need to work on yourself, on the relationship. You need to talk a lot about your feelings and what you like and what you don't like and what makes you feel this way or that way. And you need to be very open and honest, and you need to discuss a lot. You need to talk a lot, and you need to work, and you need to be able to compromise with the other person. It is very important. Reason number 6 is that you focus more on what it looks like than how it feels. So what I'm trying to say with this is a lot of people have kind of this list that they check or cross out, but when it comes to a relationship, you might have wanted a person who earns a lot of money, or who has blue eyes, or who is a very famous actor or something like that. So you have this checklist of the qualities that your partner should have, but maybe there is a person who will make you feel amazing and he just doesn't fit this. I think that you should focus more on what it feels like. For example, your partner doesn't bring you flowers just, out of nowhere, or he doesn't give you flowers on like holidays. Some people just don't do it. They don't have a habit of doing it. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. Every relationship is different, and if you have an image in your head of what it should look like, it will be a huge disappointment for you, because usually no one can stand and live up to your standards. And number 7 is desire to control, manipulation, and rejection of the other person as they are. And it stems from not seeing the other person for who they really are. And a lot of times people enter a relationship and they have this 1 or 2 things about their partner that they don't like, and they think, but he's going to change, or she's going to change. I will make him change because they love me, right? So they should change for me. But it doesn't work this way. You either accept the person entirely the way they are, with all their flaws, with all their weird things, with all things that annoy you, and you work towards coexisting peacefully and lovingly, or you just walk out of the relationship if you know that it's something that you cannot deal with. No one is going to change for you, and no one has to, and you don't have to change for anyone. If the other person is trying to change you, it's not a very good relationship. Manipulation, desire to control the other person, the desire to change the other person so that they suit you, it is not healthy, and it's not going to lead you anywhere. So these were the main reasons why your relationship might not be working. So I hope that it was somewhat helpful. Please share your thoughts on the topic. Maybe you have some other criteria or reasons why the relationship might fail, or relationship advice. I'm always happy to hear that. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Be nice humans. I love you very much. Bye.